Hey there. Welcome to Stress Talk Live. We are going to do the rain meditation today. I know some of you think that rain is not always good, but rain is wonderful. I know I'm interspersing the acronym RAIN with actual precipitation from the sky, but it's nurturing, it's wonderful, it helps us to feel good. And we're going to do so in just one moment. Hi there, Marcyline Bailey, and I am your host of Stress Talk Live. This is the place where we help women over 40 to live healthier lives through strategic stress management and solution focused self care. As you know, all month we have been talking about mindfulness, and today is no exception. It's not different. The only thing is, we are actually going to do a practice. For those of you who have been following me and watching, you will notice that I've started doing a practice every month, a mindfulness meditation practice every month. And today's practice is RAIN. And I'm going to share with you what that means and what it is when we get started. But first, as always, I would like for you to please like, follow, and subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also find more information about ML Bailey Consultants at this link right there. And to, if that doesn't do it for you, go to my website. You'll learn more about the things that I offer, as well as a little bit more about me. Today, we're going to do a practice, and it is the RAIN practice. And I'm going to put up a graphic because I'm going to explain what it is. And then we're just going to go into the practice. But I don't want you to get distracted by me. Okay. So I'm going to put up a graphic. Bing, there it is. That's the graphic. And the reason I'm putting this graphic up is because um, it's, well, long story short, I don't want you to be distracted by me. I want you to just listen, learn, and to focus on the practice itself. So, RAIN is um, a mindfulness meditation it's really simple, and it's based, and it is an acronym. That's why I have the periods after each letter, because RAIN is an acronym, and I'm going to share what that acronym is. Um, it's an acronym for R, recognize what is happening. A, allow. I, investigate. And then N is non identification or natural awareness. And I'm going to explain what uh, each of those statements mean, and then I'm going to take you through a practice. The practice is going to be about maybe 15, 20 minutes. But this is a practice that can be done in 5 minutes if you've practiced it and learned it, um, or it can be done in 45 minutes. You can stretch it out if you like. But RAIN is the acronym that was developed by Michelle McDonald. She was a Vipassana teacher, and she created it 25 years ago. Um, and the practice was developed to basically ease those who practice it from confusion and suffering. And as you know, um, as you've heard me say and repeat often, the lack of peace is suffering. And when we don't have clarity, we are moving and living in a state of confusion. So we use rain when we begin to experience any negativity or when we start to feel agitated, when we're noticing that we're feeling agitated. When we notice those feelings, we can just pause. We can basically, sometimes you'll hear me say, take a breath, but we can just pause and we can go through the acronym, the 4 steps, and just begin to pay attention to what's going on with us, not only in our minds, but also in our bodies. I shared that the R stands for recognize what is happening. And this is when we acknowledge consciously our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviors that are affecting us. Now, if you know cognitive behavioral therapy, which is something that I practice with my clients, um, cognitive behavioral therapy often talks about how our thoughts and our feelings influence our behaviors. So when we are using the first step of R.A.I.N, recognizing what is happening, we're consciously paying attention to those thoughts, those feelings, and those behaviors that we are acting out. This is when we just become mindful of our bodily sensations, what our body is feeling. We also we start to notice those emotions and the thoughts that arise, that come up. And we're noticing them because we want to become aware of what is causing us to experience stress, or what is causing us to feel ill at ease, or what's causing us to suffer, what's causing us to lose our peace. So the first step in R.A.I.N is to recognize what is happening. The second step is to allow it. Now, that's where we often fall into difficulty because we want to act on what we're feeling, especially if it's negative or if it's uncomfortable. We want to act on it. We want to do something about it. But just think about this. That there's a space between what's happening and our reaction to what's happening. There's a space between those two things, what's happening and our reaction to it. And when we can allow that space, no matter how small we think that space is, but if we can allow that space to just be, it gives us an opportunity to relax and to stop resisting the experience, or to stop feeling as if we have to act on the experience. And when I'm talking about the experience, I'm talking about what has occurred, as well as our thoughts, our emotions, and the feelings that come up because of it. We're not doing anything. We're not trying to push those feelings away. We're not trying to stop the event from occurring. We are allowing space. We're allowing that space, and we relax in it. We don't have to do anything. We allow it to just be. So that's the second step. The first step is to recognize what is happening. The second step is to allow it or to allow. The third step is to investigate. And this is where we become curious. As you know, and as I've shared and taught, mindfulness, a part of mindfulness is being curious, allowing ourselves to be curious. As we investigate, we're going to allow our curiosity to rise, yet we're going to be compassionate. And compassion is love in action. And we're not always compassionate with ourselves. But doing this meditation, we are encouraged to be compassionate with ourselves. And how do we do that? We are curious and compassionate when we simply notice. We notice how we feel and how we react to the event. But we're not doing anything to stop it because we're allowing it to be, but we're noticing how we feel and how we're reacting. This is also the step where we can ask ourselves questions about, how does this make me feel? What does it need? What does this feeling need? What do I believe about this? That's where we're curious and we can allow our curiosity to rise. We're not doing anything. We're allowing the space to exist, but we're being curious and yet compassionate. And then the fourth step is non-identification. This is where we don't get caught up in it. Now, if you're like me, something happens and you get caught up in what's going on and you have to do something about it. And you're having all of these feelings and emotions about what has happened. And it becomes like a whirlwind. In this step, we don't have to label it and we don't have to get caught up in the experience. We can just rest in our loving awareness, in our compassion, in our curiosity. And we can allow things to just be. So the practice of R.A.I.N is a mindfulness and a compassion practice. It is, beginners can do it. And as I said before, you can do it in 5 minutes once you learn it and you've practiced it, or you can extend it to 45 minutes. Some of the advantages or benefits of this practice is you become more aware of what's going on inside of you, right? It's introspective because you really get to know what triggers you, why it triggers you, and you also get to allow yourself to allow it to be and extend compassion to yourself. It enables you, as I said, to extend compassion to yourself, but also extend compassion to others. It helps you to clear your mind as well as calm your mind. We all need to calm ourselves at different times. And the R.A.I.N meditation can help you to do so. It helps you to lower your stress. And when we can do that, when we become less reactive to things that are occurring and more curious, and we're practicing mindfulness, it actually improves our quality of life. So this is the R.A.I.N meditation. And so we're going to actually practice it right now for the next few minutes. So when we begin this practice, I'm going to ask you to choose something that, choose a situation to work with. Now, you don't I'm going to caution you from choosing something that will cause you to feel overwhelmed right now. That's not what we're trying to do. We just want to allow you to practice with something that um, that's a situation for you, but not something that's overwhelming, not something that's traumatic. You might want to choose a situation like trying to decide if you're going to have ice cream tonight or what kind of ice cream you're going to have, right? Something that is light. Um, Also, again, I want to emphasize: do not choose anything that is traumatic or that will bring on panic. That is not our purpose today. Our purpose is to introduce this meditation to you and to allow you to practice it for the next few moments. So, choose a situation to work with, something that is rather light, nothing that is traumatic or that will bring on panic or will cause you to feel overwhelmed. And take your seat. If you have a cushion and you sit cross-legged on the floor, you may do so. Or if you're sitting in a chair, sit upright, not uptight, and allow the bottoms of your feet to fall flat on the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, and your legs to be at a 90-degree angle. Notice the earth as it supports you, whether that's through the bottom of your feet, the bottom of the chair, or the bottom as it sits on your cushion and your legs as they're crossed on the floor. Notice the earth as it supports you. And bring your attention and your awareness to your breathing. Just be aware of your breath as it goes into your body and as it flows out of your body. Just notice the breath. Breathe naturally and normally as you would. There's no need to change it. There's no need to alter it. Now take a moment to scan and see what you're feeling and experiencing right now. It could be fear, it could be anxiety, or it could be something entirely different. Just recognize what you are feeling. Visualize the circumstances around this feeling right now. What is the setting? Does it involve another person? Just notice whatever is prominent in your mind and think about a word that describes this emotion or this feeling that you're experiencing. Could the word be worry? Could it be anger? Maybe it's stress. Do you feel a tightness in your body, in your muscles, in the muscles of your arms, in your back, in your legs? What about in your stomach? Is your stomach doing flip-flops or do you feel butterflies? If you feel butterflies in your stomach, perhaps the word that describes what you're feeling is nervousness. Just pause and notice what is happening without judgment, without critique, without criticism. Imagine that your inner wisdom says, "This belongs here, right now." Or just be with it, like riding a wave. If you can, allow for just a moment. Allow it to be, and allow yourself time to investigate. As you investigate, you might notice where you feel this feeling or this emotion in your body. You might feel it in your chest, maybe in your throat, or it might be in your stomach. It could be somewhere else. Just notice where you feel it most profoundly in your body. As you're feeling this feeling in your body or this emotion in your body, you might ask yourself, what do I believe around this? What do I believe about this? Am I judging myself? Or am I judging someone else? Is this feeling harsh? Could it be softer or kinder? You might also ask yourself, are you concerned about the future? Are you worried that something bad will happen or something will be lost? Are these feelings, the thoughts, the beliefs that are causing you to feel this feeling in your body? Whatever comes up, this will help you to see how your body experiences those feelings. Notice whether your teeth are clenched or your jaw is tight. Maybe you feel a tightness in your shoulders or in your back or in your neck. You may find it helpful to place your hand over where you feel that emotion or feeling in the body. That's a compassionate way to provide comfort. Just placing your hand where you feel the emotion or feeling in your body. We get detached from these feelings in our bodies. We get detached from how our bodies react to the feelings we experience. We walk around all day or we sit in our heads and never feel or notice what we're feeling in our bodies. When we investigate, this can be a process to begin to notice these feelings, these emotions in our bodies. At first, it may be a vague feeling. Just start small, and over time, the feelings that your bodies feel and that you notice will become more real to you and for you. Invite the feelings in to be felt and invite whatever vulnerability that you are experiencing in to be noticed. Explore all of this with interest and compassion. The vulnerability, the feelings. How does it feel living in this body right now? As you investigate, just allow it to be there. Just allow it to be. Can you just feel the edges of it? Or can you feel deep into the center of it? Surrender to it by just noticing and allowing without judgment. Ask the vulnerable part of you, how can I be with you? Or, what do you most need right now? Imagine that you can listen from that place in you that is wise, just like an old person who has lived life. Or it may be easier to imagine a relative or friend who you know loves you. Whatever works for you, what do you need? And listen. Is it love, acceptance, forgiveness? Is it connection? Is it truth? Imagine that you hear and that what you hear bathes that part of you in whatever it needs. Love, compassion. Imagine that love and acceptance just pours over you and washes over you. Feel it as it happens. Let your deepest intention be to let that vulnerable place in you to be washed in love, light, warmth, and compassion. Whatever that vulnerable place needs. Notice the quality of presence that you have right now. Relax into it. Take in this wonderful feeling of love and equanimity. Notice your state of mind and how you feel when this meditation ends. Notice the difference between the version of yourself that you started with that was agitated, frustrated, and the version of yourself that you now have more spaciousness, openness, and loving presence. Thank you for joining me today and practicing the R.A.I.N meditation with me. I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Stress Talk Live. I'm Marcyline Bailey. That's all for now. Take good care.